read through the code that we put together. In every organization, there are expected standards. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have it? Oh, I'm just supposed to read it, so you don't have to. I'll try to be clear, which is going to be tough. I don't read very well. In every organization, there are expected standards that promote the well-being of the organization. The reason for any code of conduct or disciplinary system in an organization is ultimately to protect the institutional integrity of the organization, its proceedings, and its reputation. The Internal Ethics Committee or Disciplinary Committee is an important way for an organization to solidify its credibility with the public. Conduct which reflects discredit upon the organization or demonstrates contempt for it should be subject to some form of discipline. The most common form of discipline applicable to the Christian County Republican Central Committee are expulsion, censure, reprimand, or letter of admonition. Expulsion, censorship, reprimand, or admonition are traditional ways in which the primary parliamentary bodies have disciplined their members and maintained order and dignity in their proceedings. Number one, expulsion is the form of action by which the Christian County Republican Central Committee removes that committee man or woman, hereinafter referred to as a member, previously elected or appointed by the Ccrcc, from the membership of the Ccrcc by 2/3 of the vote of the members present and voting. An expulsion is considered disciplinary matter of self-protection of the integrity of the institution and its proceedings. Expulsion results from conduct which is inconsistent with the trust and duty of a member, even if such conduct was not sustainable offense, nor was it committed in the official character. I hope I'm clear on that. This disciplinary action is generally reserved for the most serious violations. Censure. A censure is a formal vote by the majority of the Ccrc members present and voting on a resolution disciplining a member's conduct with additional requirement that the member stand before the Ccrcc to receive a verbal rebuke and a reading of the censure resolution by the county chair. A written reprimand especially involves a lesser level of disapproval of conduct of a member than that of the censure, and thus is less severe rebuke by the Central Committee. A letter of reprimand formally expressing disapproval of a member's conduct shall be sent as a result of a majority of vote by the Ccrcc membership present and voting. And then the letter of admonition is intended to be an action taken by the disciplinary committee, which is an alternative to the recommendation of sanctions to the whole Central Committee, and is an action which is used for infractions of rules or standards which, because of the nature of the infractions or because of the mitigating circumstances, do not rise to the level requiring action by the whole Central Committee. Such action involves writing a letter to a member concerning necessary corrective action that should be taken by the member, or by noting poor judgment and the creation of an appearance of impropriety. Such letters of admonition may be distinguished from those instances when the Central Committee formally and publicly reproves a member by way of a formal censure or reprimand.
Well, that was a lot to digest. Did you get it all? We're supposed to vote on that tonight. It would be my suggestion we table it. Can we do that? Can we table it till?
If somebody moves to do something.
Is there time for discussion before we take a vote to table?
If we're going to discuss this, we're going to have a 10-minute discussion, 60 seconds per person. You speak one time. Can you watch for me?
If you tell time.
No, but you can do time discussions.
I don't have more than 60 seconds.
Good morning.
I don't have more than 60 seconds anymore.
That's fine. If we're gonna put a limit on the discussion, we need to have a vote to do so.
Gonna have a discussion on that.
Raise your right hand if you'd like to limit discussion.
No, 60
That's
minutes
per,
per
that's
person.
per group. That's
60
per.
seconds.
Now, this is only in regard to tabling motion, correct?
No,
We haven't actually made a motion, have we?
the motion is on the floor to table. There's not a motion on the floor. Is there, would someone like to?
You need to ask him if that came out of his committee.
You're right, it did come out of committee, so it was a motion.
That came out of committee, so we presented tonight.
To tell me if we can table it, you think we should table it or not?
Was that a recommendation?
If there's a motion,
Well, it was in the form of a motion.
okay, then it's motion and seconded.
It doesn't take a second if it comes out of committee.
Okay. So,
What are we voting, what are we
I,
discussing?
We're
The
going
best
to,
I can-
Lacey, I'm gonna redo this just a minute.
the best I can tell, if Ed put that in the form of a recommendation, and even though second, we are to the discussion phase. Wanda made a recommendation to limit discussion. If somebody wants to make a motion to do that,
To limit discussion, someone needs to make that
So
motion.
moved.
And someone did, I'm not sure who it was.
Daryl.
Daryl made a motion that we limit 60 seconds for the question and 10 minutes for the entire group. Okay.
And
And Walt Martin just
You
made
still
a
need to
second.
make a
Let's vote
motion
on
to
that.
table it, don't you?
could we please clarify, are we
Lacey,
limiting
just for
discussion
you, Lacey.
on the motion
We're
or on the
voting on
tabling?
no, we're not taking, we're voting on
The table.
whether or not we want to table.
Motion.
To limit discussion, sorry, we're not,
On the entire
yes.
motion, not limiting discussion on whether to table or not, but on what was just proposed by its group. Thank you for clarifying.
Raise your right hand.
I'm lucky with a football.
Those against limiting discussion?
Well, give your-
Okay, we're gonna limit discussion to 60 seconds per person, 10 minutes for the entire group on the question of whether or not we want to table these, to adopt these, to approve these, the suggestions that Ed had.
I have a question.
I think the motion is on the floor.
We have discussion.
You have 60 seconds.
All right.
Yes.
Give her a
Melissa,
minute, please.
David thinks she's good.
Melissa Wagner, Riverside Committeewoman. As we're deciding whether or not to take this vote, I just would like for all of the committee people to remember that we are here at the pleasure of those who elected us in office. I am not here at the pleasure of this committee. I was elected by the people of Riverside, and I'm pretty appalled that we all sit here and think that we can remove one another as elected people. So, I represent the Riverside people, I don't represent you, and you don't represent me, and these people voted us into office. So I just would ask that you consider that we are an elected body before you approve, a set of rules
Melissa.
that would allow us to remove or expel one another from this body.
Thank you,
Thank
Melissa.
Okay.
And,
Well, let me make this clear then, and if I wasn't, I apologize, I know it's sometimes hard to listen to me when I'm reading. But what's stated in here is in order for you to be expelled as a member, you have to be a member that was voted in by this party,
Appointed.
by the committee,
Okay,
okay?
thank you for that
That's
clarification.
fine. You're absolutely.
that answer.
Yeah, I'll stay with
Christina,
I would like to ask if possible for rates of people to be approved or recommendations like this to please be sent to us ahead of time so we can read it and think about it. Maybe, like you mentioned, maybe tabling this. And in addition to that, also having them email to us or something so we can at least think about it.
I'll pass that on to the chairman. Thank you. Questions? Lacy?
I too am glad to know that the expulsion would only be on people that were not elected to their
Not elected.
position.
That's correct.
Would the other items of the code of conduct apply to only those people?
No,
Or would they?
those others are applied to all members.
And then on the secondary question, what, do we have any clarity as to what would be considered harmful things that somebody might get a letter of admonition? If the rest of the committee didn't consider me conservative enough,
That could be
Would that
10,000
be-
things, Lacy, and
I think we're all, you know, we can look at that, and it's not gonna be, you know, it might be a letter, if you're part of the central committee and you have another party's sign in your yard, that is what I'm thinking of as an example. They would send a letter, yes.
I don't know if I understand.
Really nitpicky, but East Finley committee woman in Vancouver. I am married to a gentleman who is not Republican. And the Republican Party stands true to the Bible, so I must submit to my husband. And I am not about to tell my man, you cannot have that sign in our yard because I'm a Republican committee woman. Because he's gonna look at me and first of all, you can't tell me I own this property and I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. And two, he is a voter and he does have freedom of choice.
Well, I think
So,
Ed was
I
giving
think
that
that
as
would
just an
be-
example, Pam, but I'm sure there's.
I can see how this is going down.
Well, and
So
I
I
think-
really, this is a serious deal to me, as a woman.
Well,
And it should be.
and I
in the
think it
future.
talks to depending on the circumstances. And so hopefully, if, before this is sent out, which is a letter of reprimand or a letter of admonition, that might be investigated. But other than that, you're a member of the central committee. We have to have rules to obey. Any organization that is that not true?
I understand
Yes,
rules.
is that not true?
How long has the committee been in place without a set of disciplinary rules?
I'm sorry, but
And
let's
we've
figure out
had,
an order.
we've
Pam
had
has to go on.
instances where they've been violated too.
I'd call the police then. That's what I'd do.
We have 1 time, 6
Somebody violating something,
Everybody-
we have no authority.
Of course we do.
Huh?
Of course we do.
You're right, sure we do.
And
Yeah,
that's why we were elected.
yeah.
You know, we're on a Republican committee for someone to not
60
support
seconds.
Republican.
Time's up.
I'm not talking about Republicans.
I would like to move that we table this discussion and vote on it until
Huh?
our next regular meeting.
Well, I won't go that far now. I ain't gonna say that.
Discuss and perhaps greater clarification.
I'd like to make an amendment to your motion. Well, amendment to Lacey's, that I'd like these emailed to all of us in time before we have this meeting.
Emailed or mailed for those who do not have emails. I will agree to that amendment.
That was my problem, 'cause I'm married. You know what I mean?
Okay,
All right,
You can pull it off the table.
slow down here,
there's been a motion on the floor that we vote for the,
have an amendment first.
okay. The amendment was to table.
No,
The amendment was seconded by the motioner as friendly. She accepted the amendment.
You know, you could pull this motion off the table if you wanted to.
No.
I don't care.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I think it needs to move forward.
Restate your amendment.
My amendment was that, and so, the motion to table, as well as for the secretary of the committee to either, to mail this, piece out to all of the members, email, or, well, mail, because not all of us have email. So I wanna read it before we vote on it. I don't wanna be like one of those congressmen who doesn't read the stuff before they
So
vote on it.
basically, you're gonna agree to combine your motion and amendment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was saying in the beginning. I think it's too long to vote on.
Could I have the motion in maybe 5 or 6 words? Paragraph?
We move to table this amendment to the next scheduled meeting, and that the information be sent via
disseminated.
mail, email to all the voting members of the Central Committee.
Vote on whether we're gonna send the thing out to people.
Well, it's part of the table.
The reason, we're tabling it so we can think about it some more, and if we want to think about it some more, then having the information.
I hope it's on.
I second it.
Jesus Christ, this isn't good.
All right, the motion.
Welcome to the committee.
Everyone in favor of tabling the amendment? I'm sorry, not the fifth amendment, to table the report. Raise your right hand. Those that want to table Ed's proposal, raise your right hand until the next meeting. Raise them high, I can't see it. Keep your hands up. Tell you what, stand up. If you want to get better.
Change your mind.
Huh?
Oh, change your mind.
I got 17.
Count the gentleman behind.
17. Those that want to go ahead and vote on the amendment, raise your hand. Let's see if we, it's easier for me to, raise your hand if you want to go ahead and vote. There you go. If you want to go ahead and vote on the amendment, raise your hand.
Hands up high, please.
If you misunderstood, then you cancel your vote.
You want to go ahead and do it tonight?
Not
Roseanne
a,
misunderstood. Roseanne misunderstood the vote. Can we do it?
And how many proxies do we have on that? I have Jim Bowles proxies, or no, any more proxies?
What was the count vote rate?
7. It was, I hate saying this, but it was time. I quit. All right, I'm gonna try to make this a great time.
let's agree and check and restart.